Hey, hi everyone. A very good evening to each one of you, and I welcome you all to the session today. I hope you guys are doing great. Still, let me know here in the chat box कैसे हो आप लोग, आपके studies कैसे चल रहे हैं, how's everyone at your place. Everything I have to know about you, whatever is there in your mind, let me know here in the chat box. Meanwhile, let me announce the topic that we are gonna learn today. So today, basically, we are gonna discuss a story which is mentioned there in your literature book, which is named as A Visit to Cambridge. This is the name of the story that we'll be discussing today. We'll discuss the words like hard words there, also like general things that we should be aware of, that also will be getting aware. Okay, so here, first of all, I would like to give you all a brief introduction which will make you aware of my name, qualifications, experiences, and everything. So here's the introduction. My name is Smriti Singh. I have done BA in English and Civics. I have experience of more than 4 years in teaching, where initially I taught at a school, then I switched to online teaching. Right now I'm working at Unacademy, where I have started my channel, which is named as English Junior Pro. About the channel, I'll tell you later. Before that, let me give you all the Telegram link through which you can join me there on Telegram. So this link is available in description box where you can go and join me directly. So why I'm asking you to join me there on Telegram, because there only you'll be getting the timings of upcoming sessions, quizzes, and whatever information I have to give you. You'll be receiving there on Telegram only. So please hurry up and join me there on Telegram. Now, before we proceed with the topic, like before we proceed with the story itself, let me tell you about the benefits that you get once you have an Academy subscription. So first benefit that an Academy gives you is unlimited access to the platform. Means you can watch sessions, as many sessions you want to. That is the first benefit. Then comes live polls and leaderboard, live doubt solving sessions, live interaction, weekly test series. So these are the benefits that you are getting here on this platform. So these many benefits you are getting here on the same platform. So why shall we go anywhere else? Why not to have an Academy subscription? So please think about it. Now, once you have thought, okay, I will have an Academy subscription, what is the first thing that you need to decide? The first decision that you have to make, like whatever subscription you'll be taking, for how many months you will take it. So you can see short term as well as long term subscriptions are available here. Depends on your need, whether your need is limited or you have to learn everything whatever is there in your course, then I suggest you please go for a long term subscription. Now the second decision is, what are the kinds of subscriptions available here and what kind of subscription you would like to have. So I'm going to tell you the benefits that you get under these two kinds of subscriptions. First of all, I'll tell you about the benefits that you get under plus subscription. So first benefit, India's best educators will be teaching you. Sessions will be very interactive, structured courses and PDF notes are given to you, right? Then live test and quizzes. So these many benefits you are getting under plus subscription. Now, what are the benefits you are getting under iconic subscription? So from there till here, you can see these are the same benefits that you're getting under plus subscription. ये वही benefits है जो आपको plus वाले में मिल रहे हैं. Now what else you are getting? That is personal coach, study planner, experts guidelines, test analysis. Now you have to decide what kind of subscription you want. I have told you about the benefits that you're getting under these two kinds of subscription. Now you decide what do you want. Now once you have decided I will have this subscription, this kind of subscription for these many months, ये दोनों चीजें आपने decide कर ली. Now what are the steps you'll be taking for that? Okay, so first of all, you need to ensure that you have an Academy learning app. If you don't have, please go to the Play Store from where you have to install an Academy learning app. Once the app is installed in your phone, then what you have to do, you have to go inside the app, manage goals, from where you have to pick your category, then you have to pick what kind of subscription you want, and then you have to click over here on get subscription. Then finally you have to pick for how many months, whatever subscription you are taking, for how many months you are taking it. Suppose you want it for 18 months, you will select 18 months from here. Then while doing the payment, if you apply my code, which is Smriti10, you will get 10% discount on that. पेमेंट करते टाइम अगर आप ये कोड अप्लाई करते हैं तो आपको 10% का डिस्काउंट मिल जाता है. Now it's about my channel. So here on YouTube, I have started my channel, which is named as English Junior Pro, जहाँ पे I'm teaching the category 6 to 8. What I'm teaching English, literature, vocabulary, grammar, और बहुत सारे quizzes भी I'm gonna conduct. So what you have to do, what I expect from you, please, whoever is around you, the people who are around you, make them aware of the channel, make them subscribe my channel. they're going to attend my sessions. If they're going to like my sessions, they will hit the like button and share with everybody. Okay, now let's continue with the topic that we are going to learn. Okay, जो हम लोग आज story discuss करने वाले हैं वो हम लोग discuss करेंगे, but before that I have few questions, like general questions, that I have to see that you are aware of the answers. If you are not aware of the answer, it will not help you to understand the story better. So if you want to understand the story better, for that you need to answer such questions that I'm going to ask you previously. Okay, this is the first question for you, where it's written, what do you mean by the word travel log? Travel log का मतलब क्या होता है? Are you all aware of the term travel log? I have to see. If you are aware, please let me know the meaning of the term travel log. If you don't know, I'll let you know here. Okay, so put it here in the chat box if you know the meaning of the term travel log. So travel log, why I'm asking you this question? Because it's a kind of travel log. Okay, अभी जो हम लोग पढ़ने वाले हैं वो travel log ही है. Travel log का मतलब होता है, travel log is a piece of writing. ये जो है piece of writing है, piece of writing, piece of writing on what? Piece of writing on travel. So suppose you are gonna visit a place. आप कहीं पे कोई जगह घूमने जा रहे हैं, and suddenly you feel like I have to write something on this, like जहाँ पे मैं घूम रहा हूँ, I have to write about this place, about the journey that I am on. Okay, उस journey के बारे में, उस travel के बारे में अगर आप कुछ लिखने में interested हैं and you're gonna write it, it will be called travel log. उसको हम लोग travel log बोलेंगे. जब आप कहीं विजिट करने जा रहे हैं और ट्रैवल कर रहे हैं, और ट्रैवल करते हुए आप जब उन सारे चीजों के बारे में लिख रहे हैं, वट एवर यू आर एक्सपीरियंसिंग, दैट इज वॉट वी कॉल ट्रैवलॉग. उसको हम लोग ट्रैवलॉग बोलते हैं. सो आई होप ट्रैवलॉग यू हैव अंडरस्टूड. नाउ माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन फॉर यू इज, वेयर इज द कैपिटल ऑफ इंग्लैंड? Why I'm asking this question? Because obviously, as I told you, somewhere it is related to the story. That is why I'm asking you whether you are aware of such things or not. So, capital of England is London. If you are not aware, capital of London, capital of England जो है वो London है, और आपको ये aware होना पड़ेगा. So somewhere you are getting general information as well. It will help you, right? आप स्टोरी भी पढ़ रहे हैं, आपको अगर नहीं भी पता है इस सारे टर्म्स का मतलब, जैसे ट्रैवल लॉग, या फिर यू आर नॉट अवेयर ऑफ द कैपिटल ऑफ इंग्लैंड, these things are giving you general information, so it will help you. Right now my next question for you is, what do you mean by differently abled person? If you see, like if I tell you that I saw a differently abled person yesterday, अगर मैं आपसे ये बोलूं कि कल मैं एक differently abled person से मिली, now if you are not aware of the term differently abled, you will not understand what I'm talking about. अगर आपको differently abled का मतलब नहीं पता है, तो आपको समझ में नहीं आएगा कि what ma'am is talking about, right? Because differently abled जो है, this is mentioned there in the context of the story. That is why I'm asking you, that is why I'm helping you in getting to be aware of such terms. अगर आपको ये terms पता नहीं होंगे तो आप story को ठीक से नहीं समझ पाएंगे, ठीक है? So I have picked such terms from the story, and then that is why I'm asking you here. So differently abled person, if I told you that I saw a differently abled person yesterday, it means that I saw a person who was not somewhere physically or mentally able. ठीक है, mentally or physically able, maybe suppose if I'm a person, okay, I'm a person, if my legs, one of my legs is not working properly, if mentally I'm not able, mentally I'm not fit, okay, that is what I'm trying to convey to you. So mentally अगर मेरा कुछ कुछ गड़बड़ है मेरे mental situation में, mental condition में, और मेरा physically if I'm not fit, somewhere my one of my hands is not working or one of my legs is not working, it means I am differently abled person. ठीक है, तो अभी हम जो स्टोरी पढ़ने वाले हैं वो डिफरेंटली एबल्ड पीपल के बारे में स्टोरी है. दैट इज व्हाई आई एम मेकिंग यू अवेयर कि अगर डिफरेंटली एबल्ड पर्सन है तो इट मींस दैट पर्सन इज मे बी फिजिकली नॉट फिट और मेंटली नॉट फिट. ओके, so here differently abled का मतलब है physically or mentally disabled person. Okay, how? Suppose there is a person who is not able to speak properly because of some mental issue or physical issue. किसी issue mentally और physically issue के को लेकर के वो जो है disabled है, वो ठीक से बोल नहीं पा रहा है या चल नहीं पा रहा है, it means that person is differently abled. Okay, now here One name you can see on the screen, right? That is Stephen William Hawking. You must have heard this name because he is very famous. So I would like to know it from you. If you are listening to me, if you are watching me, please let me know whatever you know about Stephen William Hawking. स्टीफन विलियम हॉकिंग जो है बहुत ही ग्रेट पर्सनालिटी है, जो बहुत ही फेमस पर्सनालिटी है, जिसके बारे में आई एम श्योर कि मैक्सिमम ऑफ यू वुड हैव हर्ड. इफ यू हैवंट हर्ड, आई विल मेक यू अवेयर ऑफ स्टीफन विलियम हॉकिंग कौन थे. ठीक है, उसके बारे में अभी हम लोग थोड़ा सा जान लेते हैं कि स्टीफन विलियम हॉकिंग कौन थे, बिकॉज there is a mention of Stephen William Hawking in the story. So that is why I am making you aware कि Stephen William Hawking कौन थे, क्योंकि इनकी चर्चा हुई है स्टोरी में, that is why. ठीक है, so here Stephen William Hawking was a scientist, famous scientist थे ये. He was an English, because he belonged to England, so that is why this term is mentioned. He was an English physicist, cosmologist, and also author, means he used to write novels also. उनके novels भी हैं, बहुत ही famous novels भी हैं, famous books है. So वो physicist थे, cosmologist थे और author भी थे, who was director of research, और वो director भी थे research at the center of theoretical cosmology at the University of Cambridge. तो वो इतनी सारी चीजें थे, मतलब physicist, कॉस्मोलॉजिस्ट, ऑथर, वो बुक्स लिखते थे, और वो क्या थे, वो डायरेक्टर भी थे कैम्ब्रिज यूनिवर्सिटी में. कौन से डिपार्टमेंट के? सेंटर फॉर थियोरेटिकल कॉस्मोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट के. Okay, so here we got brief information about Stephen William Hawking, who was a great personality. Now also we remember him because उनके कहीं ना कहीं हम जो है हम लोग कहीं ना कहीं बुक्स पढ़ते हैं स्टीफन हॉकिंग्स के. बहुत सारे बुक्स मैंने भी पढ़े हुए स्टीफन हॉकिंग्स के, तो आई सजेस्ट यू ऑल्सो रीड उनकी बुक्स, जो आप डेफिनेटली यू विल एंजॉय. ओके, नाउ हियर let's talk about his disability, because somewhere he was differently abled, means disabled थे वो physically, mentally, that we will be aware of here. Okay, तो उनकी disability क्या थी? Professor Hawking was diagnosed means what? जब उनको मेडिकली एग्जामिन किया गया तो वो डायग्नोज, उसको हम लोग डायग्नोज करना बोलते हैं. जब आपको मेडिकली एग्जामिन किया जाता है कि व्हाट्स रॉन्ग विथ यू, व्हाट डिजीज यू हैव, उसको हम लोग डायग्नोज करना बोलते हैं. ठीक है, तो वहां पे ही वाज डायग्नोज्ड विद अ रेयर फॉर्म ऑफ मोटर न्यूरॉन डिजीज. उनको उनमें एक डिजीज पाया गया जिसका नाम था मोटर न्यूरॉन डिजीज. Okay, this disease, I'll tell you briefly about this disease कि ये disease exactly होता क्या है. तो उनके जो ब्रेन के नर्व सेल्स थे और जो उनके स्पाइनल कोड से वो जो कनेक्टेड जो सेल्स थे, उसमें वो प्रॉपरली इट वाज नॉट वर्किंग, और उसको हम लोग यहाँ पे मोटर न्यूरॉन डिजीज बोलते हैं. ठीक है, सो व्हेन ही वाज द एज वाज 22, जब वो 22 इयर्स के थे तो उनमें ये डिजीज जो है उनमें डायग्नोज किया गया. द नर्व्स दैट कंट्रोल हिज मसल्स, जो हमारे बॉडी में जो ऐसे नर्व्स होते हैं जो हमारे मसल्स को कंट्रोल करते हैं, वर फेलिंग, वो फेल कर रहे थे, एंड ही बिकेम ट्रैप्ड इन हिज बॉडी. बट हिज माइंड वाज स्टिल फ्री. बट उनके माइंड जो थे अभी भी इट वाज वर्किंग वेल. ही रीच्ड द हाइट ऑफ हिज फील्ड. Okay, while being in a being a wheelchair user and communicating through a synthetic voice. तो वो अपनी वॉइस में जैसे how we speak, he could not speak. He used to take help of computer system, जिसको हम लोग यहाँ पे synthetic voice बोल रहे. Synthetic voice means it's not your own voice, but that voice is of computer. So he used to take help of that voice, जो कंप्यूटर से आते थे, और उसी वॉइस से he used to communicate, he used to converse with people. Okay, so here we learned about the disability also, कि स्टेफन हॉकिंग के जो थे उनके क्या डिसेबिलिटी थे, वो कहाँ से बिलोंग करते थे, वो क्या क्या चीजें करते थे, उनकी प्रोफेशन क्या थी, एवरीथिंग वी आर अवेयर ऑफ. राइट नाउ, so this is the introduction of the topic. So this is the topic जहाँ जिसका स्टोरी हम लोग आज पढ़ने वाले हैं. The title of the story is A Visit to Cambridge. Okay, so author जो है यहाँ पे कैम्ब्रिज जाते हैं, और उनका जो विजिट है वहां पे, जो वो लिखे हैं कि कैसा रहा, वहां पे क्या क्या चीजें हुई, ट्रैवल के बारे में बेसिकली जो वो बता रहे हैं कि उनका जो ट्रैवल था कैम्ब्रिज यूनिवर्सिटी में, कैम्ब्रिज में, वो कैसा था. So here the author, the name of the author who is telling you the story, जो आपको स्टोरी बता रहे, the storyteller of the story is the person who has written the story and telling you the story as well is Firdaus Kanga. ये उनका नाम है फिरदौस कंगा एंड ही वाज आल्सो डिफरेंटली एबल्ड मींस ही वाज आल्सो डिसेबल्ड ओके वो उनको भी फिजिकली कुछ ना कुछ इशू था जो फिजिकली फिट नहीं थे सो ही इज एन इंडियन राइटर हु बिलोंग टू मुंबई जो मुंबई से बिलोंग करते थे तो बेसिकली वो इंडिया के थे बट हु लिव्स इन लंदन नाउ जो लंदन में सेटल्ड है okay so this is a brief introduction about the author because whenever we are learning a story we should be thankful towards the author or the writer because of that person only we are able to read a story so that is why I thought to give you introduction of the author here so the name of the author is Firdaus Kanga who was born in 1960 he was basically from India belonged to Mumbai but now he lives in London he is settled in London and he was also physically disabled. Now here you can see a summary. This is the summary of the story means briefly this will give you idea what the story is all about. Okay, then we'll get into the proper story. So this is the story of a meeting between two extraordinary people. That two extraordinary people that we are talking about here were Stephen Hawking and the author himself. यहाँ पे जो दो एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी पीपल की बातें हो रही हैं वो कौन कौन है वो है स्टीफन हॉकिंग और जो है जो राइटर है इसके जो ऑथर है इस स्टोरी के फिरदौस कंगा वो दोनों एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी पीपल की बातें हो रही हैं द टू ग्रेट मैन they were great men exchange thoughts on what it means to live life in a wheelchair because दोनों के दोनों जो थे वो physically disabled people थे दोनों ही फिरदौस कंगा and स्टीफन हॉकिंग okay both were physically disabled right तो यहाँ पे वो ये एक कॉन्वर्सेशन की स्टोरी में बातें चल रही है कि कैसे जो है उनकी कॉन्वर्सेशन होती है स्टीफन हॉकिंग से और कैसे वो लोग एक दूसरे के थॉट्स जो है एक्सचेंज करते हैं कि हाउ बीइंग इन अ व्हील चेयर एंड लिविंग दिस लाइफ how it is like how you feel like about it so and also on how the so called normal people react to the disabled people कि जो हम लोग नॉर्मल पीपल हैं जिनके जो मेंटली और फिजिकली फिट है हाउ वी रिएक्ट टूवर्ड्स द पीपल हु आर इन व्हील चेयर हु आर फिजिकली डिसेबल्ड तो इसके बारे में यहाँ पे बातें हो रही है तो वो दोनों इस पे जो है एक दूसरे के थॉट्स एक्सचेंज करते हैं कि मेरा क्या मानना है because I am in a wheelchair right you are also in a wheelchair now how do we feel about it being in a wheelchair and living the life and also we have to face a reaction of the people towards our disability so how it feels like तो इसके बारे में ये story है I hope you are definitely gonna enjoy this story so please share with me if you are gonna enjoy the story so now here the story begins Cambridge was my metaphor for England Cambridge was my metaphor for England metaphor is a figure of speech ये हमारा one of the figure of speech है जो हम लोग पढ़ेंगे अभी I have not taken session on figure of speech but I'll be taking so here what the author is trying to tell you Cambridge यहाँ पे who is the storyteller author himself is the storyteller author ही आपको ये story सुना रहे हैं ठीक है that Cambridge was my metaphor for England means Cambridge was the real England वो बताना चाह रहे हैं कि Cambridge जो है मेरे लिए real England है real England what he is trying to tell you Cambridge is the real England or what you could mean by that he is trying to tell you that Cambridge is the representative for England Cambridge represents England okay so जैसे for example जब भी whenever I take whenever we whenever जब कोई बोलता है हमें कि ताजमहल सॉरी नॉट ताजमहल आगरा जब हमें कोई बोलता है आगरा तो आगरा से हमारे दिमाग में क्या आता है दिमाग में ताजमहल राइट सो लाइक दैट ओनली जब हमें कोई इंग्लैंड बोलता है तो वैसे ही जब कोई इंग्लैंड बोलता है ऑथर के सामने तो उनके दिमाग में जो है केम्ब्रिज आता है सबसे पहले दिस इज व्हाट ही इज ट्राइंग टू टेल यू बिकॉज फॉर हिम केम्ब्रिज इज द रियल इंग्लैंड and it was strange that when I left it had become altogether something else because I had met Stephen Hawking there. So here he is going to tell you about the conversation or how he met Stephen Hawking there in Cambridge that he is going to tell you here. So it was on a walking tour through Cambridge. जब वो Cambridge पे walking tour पे थे, who is this? Okay, hi Archana, how are you? I hope you are doing great. Okay, this is your different. Yeah, Ajay Kant. Your name is showing Ajay Kant. Okay, it's all right. So here, when he was on a walking tour through Cambridge, there was a guide with him who mentioned name Stephen Hawking and told him that poor man, Stephen Hawking, poor man, who is quite disabled now. So this information he got from the guide who was with him. जिस गाइड के साथ वो टूर पे थे, घूम रहे थे, वो गाइड उस गाइड ने इन्हें बताया कि वो स्टीफन हॉकिंग जो है वो पुअर मैन है. व्हाई? बिकॉज ही इज डिसेबल्ड नाउ. Disabled means, as I told you, disabled means physically or mentally when you are not fit, right? So though he is worthy successor, वैसे तो वो worthy successor means deserving successor to Isaac Newton, whose chair he has at the university. So he was there, the director of the research department at Cambridge University. Who I'm talking about? I'm talking about Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking was the director of research department at the university. वो यूनिवर्सिटी में रिसर्च डिपार्टमेंट के जो थे वो वहां पे डायरेक्टर थे. और वो डायरेक्टर थे. ये जो है इंफॉर्मेशन उन्हें किसने दिया? ऑथर को दिया ये इंफॉर्मेशन गाइड ने. He talked about Stephen Hawking and he gave these information about him to the author. कि Stephen Hawking जो है अब he is a disabled person now. Okay. So here, as I started, and I started because I had quite forgotten that this most brilliant and completely paralyzed astrophysicist, the author of A Brief History of Time. A Brief History of Time is a book. A Brief History of Time is a book written by Stephen Hawking. So here what author is telling you that he had quite forgotten the person Stephen Hawking, that he was the great personality who had written the book A Brief History of Time. तो अभी जैसे ही गाइड ने बताया उनकी चर्चा की about Stephen Hawking, he remembered him. One of the biggest best sellers ever. और ये जो book है ना, A Brief History of Time, it's a very worldwide famous book है ये. You should also read this book. So he lived here when the walking tour was done. जब walking tour हो गए, ठीक है, I rushed to a phone booth. Who rushed to the phone booth? Author rushed to the phone booth. फोन स्टीफन हॉकिंग्स हाउस. और उन्होंने क्या किया? वो फोन बूथ पे जाके उन्होंने किसको फोन किया? स्टीफन हॉकिंग्स को फोन लगाया. बिकॉज समवेयर ही वांटेड टू मीट हिम. ही वांटेड टू नो अबाउट हिज डिसेबिलिटी. He got very curious about it when the guy told him that Stephen Hawking is now a disabled person. So somewhere he got the curiosity to meet him, to ask him few questions about his disability. So this is what he wanted. And out of that curiosity, he rushed to a phone booth and he called the person. He called Stephen Hawking. Okay. Then what happened? There was his assistant. When he called his house, who picked up the call? His assistant picked up the call. Whose assistant we are talking about? Stephen Hawking's assistant picked up the call. Okay. And I told him, author told him I had come in a wheelchair from India. और author ने जैसे ही assistant ने call pick किया, author ने बताया कि मैं इंडिया से आया हूँ wheelchair पे और मैं उनसे मिलना चाहता हूँ. So ये बताने पे perhaps the assistant thought that I had propelled myself all the way to write about my travels in Britain. तो जैसे ही ऑथर ने उन्हें ये बताया कि आई हैव कम फ्रॉम इंडिया इन अ व्हील चेयर, मैं इंडिया से आया हूँ व्हील चेयर में, तो हो सकता है उसे ऐसा लगा हो असिस्टेंट को कि मैं जो हूँ, मैं स्पेशली आई एम हियर टू राइट अबाउट माई ट्रेवल्स. जो मैं ट्रैवल कर रहा हूँ ब्रिटेन को, तो मैं व्हील चेयर में आया हूँ स्पेशली नॉवेल लिखने के लिए, बुक लिखने के लिए. ऐसा ये असिस्टेंट को लगा होगा. ऐसा जो है ऑथर ने अज्यूम किया कि हो सकता है कि असिस्टेंट को ऐसा लगा हो कि ये जो है बेचारा ये व्हील चेयर में आया है all the way from India to write about travel, that he is in Britain, right? So I had to see Professor Hawking. Author had to see anyhow Professor Hawking. उन्हें Professor Hawking से मिलना ही था. Even 10 times would do. Half an hour, he said, from 3:30 to 4. Who replied? Assistant replied when he told all this ki I've come from India to write about my travels in Britain. So what reply came from assistant? Assistant told him half an hour is okay from 3:30 to 4. Is that fine with you? तो ये रिप्लाई आया असिस्टेंट का, बिकॉज असिस्टेंट ने भी सोचा होगा कि ये जो है बुक लिखने आया है, स्पेशली वो भी व्हील चेयर में, तो ऐसा जो है ऑथर ने अज्यूम किया कि ये सोच के हो सकता है उसने मुझे अपॉइंटमेंट दे दिया हो हाफ एन आवर का फ्रॉम 3:30 to 4 o'clock. Okay, then what happened? And suddenly I felt weak all over. Author felt weak all over. Growing up disabled, you get fed up with people asking you to be brave. You know what he's talking about here? He's talking about, when you are a disabled person and when you meet people around you, when you meet normal people around you, आप disabled हो और आप जब normal people से मिलते हो, तो that time you are so fed up of people. Why? Because every time they are nagging you to be brave, that जब आप देखते हो, आप जब किसी डिसेबल पर्सन से मिलते होगे तो आप बोलते हो कि प्लीज बी ब्रेव, आपको थोड़ा सा हिम्मत रखना चाहिए, इट्स ओके, नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम, ये सारी चीजें आप दिलासा देते हो. सो समवेयर आप सिंपथी दिखाते हो ऐसे लोगों को जो डिसेबल्ड होते हैं, जो फिजिकली डिसेबल्ड है, राइट? तो ये सारी चीजों से जो होता है, वो जो डिसेबल्ड पर्सन है, दैट पर्सन डोंट लाइक दीज थिंग्स. समवेयर दे गेट फेड अप ऑफ सच थिंग्स. जब पीपल, नॉर्मल पीपल ये सारी चीजें सिंपैथी दिखाते हैं, उन्हें ऐसा लगता है कि दे आर इन्फीरियर टू यू. अगर आप डिसेबल्ड पर्सन को बोलेंगे बी ब्रेव, इट्स ओके, कोई बात नहीं, तो फिर उन्हें लगेगा कि यू आर मेकिंग द पर्सन इन्फीरियर, राइट? आप उन्हें इन्फीरियर बना रहे हो. That way you are treating the person. So the only thing that makes you stronger, जो एक disabled person को जो stronger बनाता है, is seeing somebody like you achieving something huge. Okay, अब ऐसे जब आप disabled हो और जो एक ही चीज आपको, जो author का मानना है, जो आपको strong बनाता है, if you are a disabled person, then that is the thing. When you see someone like you जो आपकी तरह disabled है, but that person being a disabled person, being in a wheelchair, but still achieving something immense, achieving something huge. Okay, वो जो है wheelchair में होते हुए भी that person is an achiever. It makes you feel so motivated, so inspired, and also makes you feel like living the life. Then you enjoy the life, then you get the hope that okay, now I have the chance to achieve something in my life. No matter if I'm disabled, it's okay. I also can achieve something better in my life. That feeling you get, and that is what author is talking about. उसी के बारे में author यहाँ पे बात कर रहे हैं कि even if you are a disabled person, it's okay. People should not treat you as if you are inferior to the person because you are disabled. That is the way you should not have towards disabled people. Okay, so that time there's only thing that makes you stronger is that when you see someone like you, a disabled person is achieving great things in life. Okay, so now what happens after that? Then you know how much is possible. You reach out further than you ever thought you could. I haven't been brave, said his disembodied computer voice. अब ये सारी बातें जानने पे जो है स्टीफन हॉकिंग का यहाँ पे रिप्लाई आता है कि I have not been brave, said his disembodied computer voice. Disembodied computer voice means bodiless voice because he could not speak. Stephen Hawking could not speak, right? So he used to take help of computer system to converse with people. So this is what he did. When he heard the author, तो उन्होंने जो है क्या बोला कि I haven't been brave. मैं जो हूँ कभी brave नहीं हुआ हूँ, said his disembodied computer voice the next afternoon. I have had no choice. Surely I wanted to say living creatively with the reality of his disintegrating body was a choice, but I kept quiet because I felt guilty every time I spoke to him for forcing him to respond. So here, whenever author asked any question, Stephen Hawking से जब वो question पूछ रहे थे, since he could not speak, so author felt bad about asking him to respond to his question because he could not speak. He had to take help of computer system to respond to his questions. So somewhere author did not feel good about it. That he was somewhere he felt like he was forcing him. Somewhere he felt guilty about it. That he was somewhere compelling him to respond to whatever question he was asking. Okay. Then what happens here? There he was tapping at the little switch. Whenever he asked the question, whenever author asked any question based on his disability, how he responded, how Stephen Hawking responded, he took help of computer system. There was a switch, right? So he used to tap there, और जो है उससे वो कोशिश करते थे कि he respond, right? So trying to find the words on his computer, so उसके लिए बोलने के लिए, to respond to the author's question, what he had to do, he had to take a lot of efforts there, because it was not easy for him to answer, to respond through computer system. So that is why उसे उन्हें जो है words find करने के लिए computer पे उन्हें जो है movement करने पड़ते थे, उन्हें जो है बहुत सारे efforts डालने पड़ते थे, then only he could respond, right? So with only a bit of movement left to him, his long pale fingers. So every so often, his eyes would shut in frustrated exhaustion. So while he was responding to the question of author, whatever questions author asked him, so whenever he responded, his frustration was somewhere visible on his face because he was getting exhausted. Suppose you put yourself in the shoes of Stephen Hawking, और आप ये सोच के देखो कि आप you are not able to speak, but still someone is asking you question, you have to respond, and you have to respond through a computer system, then it will take a lot of you. So, and it will start frustrating you, exhausting you, कि आपको बार बार respond करने के लिए आपको computer पे words select करने पड़ रहे हैं, and then you are responding it with the help of that कंप्यूटर सिस्टम. सो समवेयर इट एग्जॉस्ट यू, तो आपको वो चीज जो है फ्रस्ट्रेट करता है, एग्जॉस्ट करता है, एंड दिस इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट वाज हैपनिंग विद Stephen Hawking. He was getting frustrated of answering, frustrated of responding to the question of author. And sitting opposite him, I could feel his anguish. I could feel his anguish means pain. So, author was sitting opposite to Stephen Hawking, and he obviously could feel the pain of him. Whenever, whatever pain he took while responding, he could feel it. Author could feel it because somewhere he was also in that shoes. He was also in wheelchair, so he could imagine that if you're not able to speak, if you're disabled, how much it takes. So he could feel the anguish of Stephen Hawking. He could feel the pain of him. The mind buoyant with thoughts. Buoyant means active. कि आपका माइंड जो है वो तो काफी एक्टिव है थॉट से. You can you have lots of thoughts there in your mind, but your body is not working that well. Okay, that came out in frozen phrases and sentences, stiff as corpses. Now here what he's trying to tell you, that you know, when you are disabled, when you are not able to speak, when you are taking help of computer system to respond to the question, there is a lot in your mind to speak, but you're not able to speak, right? आपके दिमाग में बहुत सारे active thoughts हैं, but you don't have the voice to speak it. So there you are taking help of computer system to respond to the question. So their words are frozen. आप बोल के अगर respond करो, आप जब अपने voice में respond करते हो, तो वहां पे activeness होती है. But when you respond through computer system, it's like frozen phrases. वहां पे आपको बस पढ़ के समझना पड़ता है. तो that is why it's written frozen phrases, because it's not active somewhere. जब आप पढ़ते हो, जब आप सुनते हो उसमें और पढ़ने में, there's difference, right? So this is what author thought, कि there his thoughts are so active in his mind, but he cannot express it. He has to express it whatever he has to express in frozen phrases. उन्हें जो है वो frozen phrases means computer के through उन्हें respond करना पड़ रहा है. Now a lot of people seem to think that disabled people are chronically unhappy. Okay, I said, who said? Author said. Author ने ये बोला कि a lot of people, बहुत सारे लोग जो हैं उन्हें देख के ऐसा लगता है that वो ऐसा सोचते हैं that disabled people, जो ऐसे लोग होते हैं who are not physically or mentally fit, who are differently like डिफरेंटली एबल्ड पीपल जो ऐसे हैं विद डिसेबिलिटी, दे आर क्रॉनिकली अनहैप्पी. ऐसा हम नॉर्मल पीपल को लगता है, वेदर वी एडमिट और नॉट. यस, वी समवेयर इट इज देयर इन आवर हेड. हमें ऐसा लगता है, सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में हमारे रहता है ये चीज कि इफ समवन इज डिसेबल्ड, it means that person is chronically unhappy. Chronically unhappy means what? Chronically unhappy means chronically extremely unhappy. तो हमें ये सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में वेदर वी एडमिट, क्योंकि हम लोग एडमिट नहीं करते हैं ये सारी चीजें, एक्सट्रीमली अनहैप्पी, बट समवेयर वी बिलीव इट कि जो ऐसे लोग हैं जो डिसेबल्ड हैं, हु आर नॉट फिजिकली फिट और मेंटली फिट, समवेयर दे आर अनहैप्पी, दे आर सैड अबाउट हिज लाइफ. बट इट्स नॉट द फैक्ट. Not everyone, not every disabled person is unhappy, is extremely unhappy. ऐसा नहीं है. बट हम लोग जो है, we normal people generalize them. हम जो है उन्हें generalize कर देते हैं ये सोच के कि जितने भी जो हैं, that set of disabled people, everyone there is extremely unhappy. It's not that. You can take example of Stephen Hawking. You can take example of the author. आप author का example ले लो. He was also in wheelchair. He was also physically disabled, right? But he was happy. He was traveling all over, right? वो travel करते थे बहुत. वैसे तो वो disabled थे, he could not walk, but still he was traveling, he was writing books. Stephen Hawking, he was astrophysicist, he was the director at Cambridge University, he was an author also. So you can take examples of such people and you can change your thoughts. Like we normal people can change our thoughts there. हम अपने thoughts को, अपनी सोच को change कर सकते हैं. ये मान के नहीं बैठ सकते हैं कि जो भी ऐसे लोग होते हैं जो भी फिजिकली चल नहीं पाते हैं या फिर बोल नहीं पाते हैं या फिर अपने थॉट्स को एक्सप्रेस नहीं कर पाते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ सम डिजीज और समथिंग लाइक दैट, देन वी शुड चेंज आवर थॉट्स, राइट? क्योंकि सब लोग वैसे नहीं होते हैं. देयर आर पीपल हु, there are disabled people who take their life, who enjoy their life a lot, who take their life very seriously. It's not like कि उन्हें लगता है कि मैं क्यों हूँ, मुझे तो नहीं रहना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Not everyone is like that. So this lesson we are getting from here. So here till here we are done with part 1. A visit to Cambridge University. हमने part 1 कर लिया है. Part 1 will be doing next day. क्योंकि हमें जो है ड्यूरेशन हमारे पास कम है. 45 minutes में I could only teach you part 1. Part 2 will be dealing next day. So I hope till here you have understood the story. If you have any confusion, जो भी मैंने आज पढ़ाया है, a visit to Cambridge University में, if you have any query or any doubt or whatever you feel like asking, please go ahead. And I hope इतने में ही आपको एक lesson मिल गया है कि let's change our thoughts towards disabled people. Okay, if we can do that. Now we'll continue next day with part 2, a visit to Cambridge University. Part 2 हम लोग next session में पढ़ेंगे. So here let's revise once again what are the steps to have, like what are the steps we need to follow to have Unacademy subscription. Unacademy subscription लेने के लिए हमें क्या क्या steps follow करने होते हैं, हम लोग थोड़ा सा वो revise कर लेते हैं. So first of all, yes, let me tell you, yes, you should have Unacademy subscription because Unacademy is giving you lots of benefits here, which you should have. As the same platform, you are getting so many benefits like doubt solving sessions, interactive sessions. India's topmost educators are teaching you. So many benefits you are getting here at the same platform. So yes, you should think about it. You should have Unacademy subscription. Now, what are the steps you need to follow? So types of subscription I already have told you. कि कितने टाइप्स के सब्सक्रिप्शंस हैं वो मैं आपको बता चुकी हूँ. उसके बेनिफिट्स क्या है, दैट आल्सो आई टोल्ड यू. नाउ आई just make you revise what are the steps you need to follow to have the subscription. So first of all, you need to ensure you have Unacademy learning app in your phone. If you don't have, please go to the Play Store from where you have to install Unacademy learning app. जहाँ से आपको Unacademy learning app you have to install. Once the app is installed, hey, hi Om, how are you? कैसे हो आप? Hi Sanjeev, I hope you all are doing great. Okay, let me know here in the chat box कैसे हो आप लोग, because you all have joined me late. So it's okay, completely fine. And also let me tell you, if you haven't joined me on Telegram channel, please go to description box and from there you can join me on Telegram channel. So once the app is installed in your phone, Unacademy learning app आपने install कर लिया अपने phone में, then you have to go to manage goals. वहां से you have to pick your category. Suppose your category is class 6, you will pick your category. Then you have to pick what kind of subscription you want. Suppose you want plus wala, so you will pick plus from there. Then you have to get the subscription. Now finally it will ask you, whatever subscription you are taking plus wala, for how many months you are taking it. So suppose you want to take it for 36 months, then you will pick 36 months from here. Then while doing the payment, if you apply my code, which is Smriti10, you will definitely get 10% discount on that. आपको 10% का discount मिल जाता है only if you apply this code given in red. Okay, so let me give you one more clarity. No matter uh, for what category you are going, no matter for how many months you are going to take subscription, the only thing that matters here is you are taking Unacademy subscription. So while having any kind of Unacademy subscription, if you apply this code given in red, Smriti10, you will definitely get 10% discount on that. Now here it's about my channel. So on YouTube, here on YouTube, I started my channel which is named as English Junior Pro, जहाँ पे I'm teaching the category 6 to 8 के बच्चों को मैं पढ़ा रही हूँ यहाँ पे. I'm teaching what? I'm teaching English, grammar, literature, vocabulary, और बहुत सारे quiz भी I'm gonna conduct. I already have conducted many sessions and quizzes, and I will be conducting in future. So what you have to do, please make people aware of this channel. Whoever people are around you, make them aware of this channel, English Junior Pro. Bring them to the channel, make them subscribe to the channel. If they are going to like my sessions, they will hit the like button and share with everybody. This is what I expect from you. Please do this. Now here I have to say thank you so much to everyone that you attended the session. I hope you all enjoyed this story, the first part of the story. Second part of the story we'll do next day, in next session. Okay. So if you have any query based on this first part of a visit to Cambridge University, please ask me. I'm ever ready to receive your doubts and resolve them. So please do that. Now let's meet again tomorrow. So tomorrow we have marathon sessions. Tomorrow we have two marathon sessions. Timing I'll send you on Telegram. Please receive the timings on Telegram and join me on time accordingly. Okay. So thank you so much. Let's meet again tomorrow for marathon